Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm McProbst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
If you're watching Facebook Live, YouTube, listening on the radio, Ali Worthington there in our screen, top business coach, host of the Ali Worthington podcast, founder of Called Creatives, and the author of a book called Standing Strong, A Woman's Guide to Overcoming Adversity and Living with Confidence. And that's all the time we have for today. Ali, how could you squeeze so much in one life?
Well, I mean, we all are busy. I mean, Dan's able to record right now from the beach.
Yeah. It's my cross to bear, but somebody has to do it. So.
Hey, listen, we want to talk about this book, but I have this question as I was reading your bio here, a top business coach. What are you saying before we get into the book? What have you been saying to folks in business, large, medium, small, during this whole crazy time we've had? The pandemic of 2020. Dan and I at home broadcasting live for the last 7 months. What are you saying?
Well, at first it was all a little bit scary for everyone, whether it was back in March and April, we didn't know how long things were going to be closed down. We didn't know how long, surgeries that weren't necessary were going to be closed down. So you think of businesses like restaurants and people who are on the front lines, but there are also lots of businesses like surgery centers that just couldn't see anybody just in case, because we didn't know what was coming. So really for everyone, every single month, we look at what's going on in the environment, what's going on with COVID, what the regulations are, what's safe to do, what's not to do. And we're taking it right now a month at a time. There's been times this 7 weeks, we've taken it week by week to figure out, how we're going to move forward and how we can grow strong. But depending on the industry, a lot of businesses are actually up now, depending on what business people are in. So it's an odd time for business owners, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you in Nashville there, we in Atlanta, we're doing pretty well. We're not 100%, but we're getting there. What about the California folks? Now, that's a whole different dynamic. Have you been able to help those guys out there?
Yeah, I have some clients who have their own agencies. I have some clients who run their own law firms, and everyone's from home. And you wouldn't think that an attorney could run everything from home, but the whole businesses, everyone's in their own home, and they're learning. I think that this is teaching people so much more can be done from home. That we can set up offices from home, do great work. For some people, it means we're going to get 2 hours a day back where we're not commuting. You guys in Atlanta, finding out Atlanta traffic. I mean, what's that for your happiness and your time that you have? So I think that, yes, there's a lot of difficulty in this season, but we're going to get through this and look back and go, okay, there were shifts that we were making in business that were so healthy for us to move on, because there's really no reason for 80% of people to go work in an office and a desk when they can do it at home just as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Ali Worthington, we're going to give you our boss's phone number.
I was just thinking the same thing.
So you can, scary Dan and I, we were separated at birth. We think the same things at the same time.
Yes.
But you're right. I mean, we have saved over an hour one way. So what's 6 hours a day plus the money a month that we've been able to put back in our budget. So
and the stress in our lives from people driving, dumb. I'll just say it that way. How's that?
Yeah, the guy on the beach talking about stress. Isn't that a little ironic?
Yeah. Right.
Because I know this is what you want to talk to. We'd love to have you back because there's so much that I'd really like to ask you because you do so much. I'd like to talk about your podcast and Called Creatives. Let's talk about the book. All right, this book is a brand new book for you, Standing Strong, A Woman's Guide to Overcoming Adversity and Living with Confidence. Why did you put this together, and why did you release it now?
Well, I couldn't have known 2 years ago when I started working on it that it would be so perfect for us right now. But I did feel called to write it. I felt like this was the message that we were going to need next, because adversity comes at us all the time. Of course, I didn't know adversity was going to be coming at everybody at the same time when this book came out. But we need to, as a people, both men and women, understand that adversity is normal. There are things we can do to overcome it. And one of the biggest things that happens when we do have adversity is we get hit by self-doubt. And when we get hit by self-doubt, we take ourselves out of the game before we ever get a chance to play. So I wanted to provide kind of a step-by-step guide to overcome it, because yes, we have hard things coming at us, but if internally we don't believe we can get through them, or we don't believe that we have what it takes to get through them, we're not even going to try.
That's so good.
I love what you say, that you can't, I just want to make sure I say it right. You can't break a woman who gets her strength from God. Talk about that aspect of what you're trying to get across to women.
Yeah, and I think so many women have said, but I do feel broken in this season. We've lost income, we've had health challenges, we've had all these things. I feel broken. And in seasons, yes, we can feel broken, but when we get our strength from God, He's always going to put us back together. We're never left alone. We are never abandoned. He's always with us. We know He has good plans for us, and we have to keep that in mind when we're in seasons of adversity where it does feel like things are all falling apart.
Yeah.
Ali, how long have you had this book out, and what has been the response so far? This, to me, looks like, even though I haven't read it, it's a book that is something you're going to read and chew on and do it step by step, not a fix-all. Hey, I'm good tomorrow. Hey,
right. It's been out exactly a week. It's only been out in the world a week, and I've already had hundreds of messages and email come through and reviews up on Amazon to say, this is exactly what I needed right now. Or one thing that I've heard over and over again that's been so fun is so many people have said, I felt like God was calling me to something, but I wasn't sure, and He confirmed it through this book. So with that, it doesn't get better than that for an author.
We're talking to Ali Worthington, author, speaker, coach, everything, basically. But Ali, on your website, aliworthington.com, something that piqued my interest is your question, what's your superpower? Talk about I want to know what my superpower is. Talk about these superpowers. I wish I could fly, if you could make that happen.
You got to take the quiz. And then you find out everything. So what it is what's your secret superpower? When you take the quiz, you find out what's your personality type, and then what is the thing that God has given you. For some people, it's encouragement. For some people, it's loyalty. For some people, it is a sense of adventure and fierceness. But you got to find out. You can find it out by going to aliworthington.com and taking that quiz. It only takes 2 minutes.
Okay, now is flying one of the superpowers? Because that's the one I want to have.
Now, I have to say, if I had a superpower, I would want to be invisible, not fly.
Yeah, that would be cool too. You can just be a fly on the wall and
if I was invisible, I could just hop on a plane and fly wherever I wanted to go, and no one
not wear a mask.
I think I might still.
Ali, we've got to know what's your superpower. Do you have more than one, or do you just have one primary?
You have one main one, and then I go into how that affects you and what you wish people knew and what people wish they knew about you. For me, my secret superpower is I'm a cheerleader. I encourage people.
That's awesome.
Which is a good thing for a coach. You want to encourage them along instead of just beating them down all the time. That doesn't work when you're a coach.
I don't think I'd have many clients
if
I just told people that they stunk all the time.
Yeah.
Ali Worthington, she's got a brand new book out. You gotta catch it. It's been out a week now, and rave reviews. Standing Strong: A Woman's Guide to Overcoming Adversity and Living with Confidence. I'm going to step out on a limb. I think this is probably good for men as well, because we deal with anxiety and confidence, and the whole. When you started talking about self-doubt, it's like, yeah, I got 100%. I'm moving forward, and then it's that self-doubt that rises up, and it's like, almost like I have 2 or 3 personalities. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. It's that kind of thing. What do you want folks to walk away with, ladies, men, whomever? What's one primary thing you want them to walk away with?
If I had a hope for people, it's that people would stop saying no to God and telling God no. So people who love the Lord, live for Him, go to church every weekend, when He puts things in our heart that He wants us to do, we either will tell Him no with our words, or we will tell Him no with our actions. We will have an idea, to step out in faith, or to try something new, or build something new, or try to overcome something. And then life gets a little hard and self-doubt comes in. And then all of a sudden we go, I thought I heard the Lord, but obviously not. Maybe I just ate some bad chicken and I'm gonna ignore it, right? And so my hope with this book is that it gives people the practical tools, but it gives people the courage to keep moving forward, to do everything that God's called us to do, even when we're living in a season where everything's crazy, because we may have been taken by surprise by this, but God's not surprised by this. Everything that he wanted for us, all of the dreams and ideas that he's given us in our heart, they still apply. It's just going to take a little bit longer. We just need to get through this year, and then we get right back to it if we don't let self-doubt take us out.
Ali, real quick before we run out of time, tell us about your podcast that you have. Where can folks find that, and what kind of things can they hear on the podcast? Oh,
yeah, it's the Ali Worthington Show, named so people can remember. The first half of the hour is an interview with leaders and authors. I've had Beth Moore and Max Lucado on the show. And then the final 30 minutes is coaching time, where I answer people's questions about life and faith and business. So a little bit of everything, segments for everyone.
All right, cool.
So good. Ali Worthington, and you can check out her podcast, read her books. You can pick up the latest book, Standing Strong, A Woman's Guide to Overcoming Adversity and Living with Confidence, on Amazon. You can go to aliworthington.com. That's a great place to go to. Probably follow her on Facebook and her Insta and that kind of thing. You got to promise, Ali, you'll come back, because you've been a great guest, and there's so much. And hey, your gift really is cheerleading, because as you were talking there at the end, I'm like, yeah, I can do anything now. Thanks so much. Can't wait to hear your podcast. Sounds really, really cool. Ali Worthington, and we got to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.